So we just had Monday Night Football between the Atlanta Falcons and the Philadelphia Eagles. And for Philadelphia, this game was really reminiscent of the ending of last year for them. And I know personally, because I am an Eagles fan, and it was not pretty because we once again beat ourselves. And I know a lot of times NFL fans are going to jump at the refs. They're going to say, hey, this is, Eagles versus refs. This is so-and-so, whatever their favorite team is against the refs. But you really can't blame the refs in this situation because we beat ourselves in three different situations. On a crucial fourth down, I believe it was, for the conversion, Saquon Barkley dropped a 3-yard pass that would have clinched the game. So then Atlanta gets the ball, and they go down the field. There's, I believe, a minute and about 20 seconds left on the clock. They go down the field in 40 seconds and score a touchdown. Kirk Cousins to Drake London. And then, so our offense messed up. Our offense lost us the game. Then our defense, our defense is what technically leads to, the loss because they allowed the touchdown. But it was really set up by the offensive drive, the drive before. And then, so we lose the game twice on those fronts. And then we lose it a third time because, honestly, that last drive, I was feeling optimistic because we completed our first pass. And really, we had all the time in the world. We had 2 timeouts, about 40 seconds, and we just had to get Jake Elliott in range. And Jake Elliott has got a leg. But then what we did instead, we threw an interception into triple coverage. And I don't blame Jalen for this one because ultimately he was trying to make a play. But you do have to be smarter because this is not a situation where we can risk throws like that. And as a result, it led to an interception, and that was the game. And the Atlanta Falcons are 1-1 on the year, and so are the Philadelphia Eagles. And it's two very different 1-1s because Atlanta, they're feeling real optimistic right now. Philly, they're kind of wondering if this is going to be continuation of last year. I don't think it will be because they have very good coordinators this year, but there's some things ironed out for the Eagles for sure. For the Falcons, I really like this game for them because even though this was like a 22-21 game, this was a pretty clean game from both offenses. And for the Falcons especially, Kirk Cousins threw 2 picks last week. He had none this game. He had 2 touchdowns. And Kyle Pitts, he hasn't been the best at getting utilizing the offense. And it was the same with Drake London aside from the final drive for the most part. But London ended up with, I believe it was 6 receptions. No, I think it was 5. 5 receptions for 64 yards and a touchdown. So he had a solid game. Kyle Pitts didn't get used much, but two of their 3 primary offensive weapons are being used right now. So you want to work Pitts in more, but Bijan's getting used, and Drake London was used somewhat well. And Bijan's really been really good for this team. And the Falcons, if they can get things together, if they can play like the version of them that they were last night, this is a very serious team and one that is going to upset some contenders. I could very well see in the regular season, I'm not sure who they're playing, but I could very well see them upset some top-tier teams. They have all the talent to do that. They have a good to great quarterback, depending on how I feel about Kirk Cousins. They have some very good offensive weapons. They have a solid defense. Atlanta is a serious team if they can get it all together. And for Philly, I think they will recover, but it's a rough week, especially with how you lost that game. If you enjoyed this video, it would be great if you could find it in you to like, subscribe, maybe check out the full podcast on Spotify, follow us on there, follow us on Instagram. I know realistically this podcast isn't going to go anywhere ultimately, whether it's via the segments on YouTube or the entire podcast itself, but I want to get into the sports broadcasting business. I want to be able to promote thought-provoking discussions about the NBA, and I would love to do it via State of the Association. Thank you if you made it all the way through.